to. We're at it.
Yeah, you should have. You failed,
record.
you fucking retard.
Should we recreate it again? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Three.
Take 3 wrestling. Shut the fuck up. Take 3 wrestling. Coming to you. Taco Bell. Taco Bell. I'm your host, Ernest Christian, alongside Mike Bernier, Joe Lopez, producer Jim. Fellas, what's up?
All right, guys. Before we start this show, Ernest is a fucking moron.
We just start. Wait. We just started. What are we talking about before we start this show?
I said before we get started.
So start now.
So Ernest, on a scale of 1 to 10, how inflamed do your hemorrhoids get when you eat Taco Bell?
Almost as inflamed as his loins get whenever he thinks about you.
So, was it that chalupa you talking about pre-show, Jim? The chalupa from last week? What about it now?
It's toasted cheddar chalupa, I believe it's called.
That sounds good.
Yeah, they have it right now. So it has, it's like your regular chalupa, but it has like fried cheese on the outside of it.
Were you able to hold it in?
Ernest, when's the last time you actually ate
What do you mean, hold it in? What do you mean? Why would I be able to hold it in?
Taco Bell could be hit or miss sometimes for certain people.
Not me, I'm a man.
Ernest, when's the last time you ate Taco Bell?
Jeez. Maybe a month ago? 2 months ago?
Like a week.
And that answer right there is how you know he's a bottom. Y'all can't be eating the Taco Bell because
How do you equate Taco Bell
because
to like top bottom?
there's no such thing as good squirting.
How do you find? I don't get this. How do you find things to talk about? How do you find these things to somehow equate this to?
No, trust me, they're very much related.
I don't. But Joe, you are very talented. I can't help that.
You do not. You know what? You know what you call a man on a date with another man eating only 2 pieces of lettuce? A bottom. No. That's what you call that man. That man is preparing for war. That man does not want to leave a trail of tears. That man is diamond, okay?
Oh my God. Anyway, we have a good show planned for you guys today. We have the Money in the Bank review. We're gonna have our part 1 of the take 3 section of the AEW Trios tournament that we announced.
I'm gonna plug myself.
What do you want, babe? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm too loud. I apologize. Also,
anal works.
Stone Cold Steve Austin Underrated series continues. And then we reveal, of course, our wrestler of the month of June, which we don't actually. I don't know if Mike told anybody yet. I don't know the winner, which is good. Keep us in the dark a little bit. Apparently,
he was gonna tell me, but I said I want to be surprised.
Yeah, me too. We'll be surprised. So, without further ado.
Oh, come on.
What? I do.
There's way too much.
That's Kenny Omega. Come on now.
Without any further of being around.
Mike, let's get started with your.
By the way, Will Ospreay said he wanted to slap him in the face on a podcast. That was cool as fuck.
Did he really?
Yeah, then he called him a cunt.
Yes.
Yeah, called him a cunt. That's what he called him.
He called him
Ospreay, he's American, right?
Oh, no, Will Ospreay is British as the day is long.
Oh, okay. I never heard him talk before. I just heard him. Oh, interesting.
His name is Ocean Spray.
The Greek Freak!
He's so British that he was calling for the resignation of Boris Johnson earlier today.
Aha, current events. You saw that, huh?
I guess.
Yeah. Good stuff. The British Donald Trump.
Was Boris drafted in the NHL draft?
Yes, he's one of the Canadians.
Makes sense. I saw the guy that the Capitals drafted. Way too many syllables.
Yeah, that's a real Russian name.
Yeah.
That is a real Russian name.
Hold on. I gotta bring it up next. I want to see if Joe can pronunciate it on the show.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. You
live. First
let me see this. Let me get a heads up with this real quick for.
I don't watch hockey.
Just pronounce it, buddy.
Oh, no.
I've been to hockey games. They're fun. Miroshnichenko.
Ivan
Miroshnichenko, I believe.
Yeah.
Miroshnichenko. Miroshnichenko.
I live in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn. I was close.
Okay, so his last name is the Bulgarian Brute,
Yeah.
Miro,
Mhm.
mixed with Shinsuke Nakamura.
And Marco's son.
And
Mark.
Ivan Putski.
Oh boy. Man.
Anyway.
All right. Let's get to topic numero un of the show. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank. We're going to do our pre-show, mid-card, main event.
I love that, by the way. Big fan. Good job, Jim.
Producer Jim for the win.
I kind of stole it from the Rich Eisen show. I forget, like, I know when he had Austin on, because this is where I saw it. I forget. It's basically a play on like fuck, marry, kill. Basically what it is.
Yeah.
And he did something, I forget what he called it on the Rich Eisen show with Austin, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is something we can incorporate. So yeah.
Speaking of that, do you remember the time we had you and Tim on the show and we're doing marry, kill, fuck, marry, kill? That was fun.
Oh shit, yeah, I remember.
For the record, remember how I said eventually I want to do a topic where it's like comparing like the same wrestler but like their different gimmicks? I think I'm gonna turn that into fuck, marry, kill with their different gimmicks.
Fuck.
Oh my god, what did I do? What did I say?
That feels more fun.
See, Joe finds a way to just pivot this shit into something dirty.
Feels like absolute carnage.
Yeah.
Or somebody's asshole after Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. All right, Mikey.
All right. Opening contest, the women's Money in the Bank contract. Lil Liv defeated Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Becky Lynch, the USA Nightmare, Lacey Evans, Raquel Rodriguez, and Shotzi.
Okay, so can I just say before we divulge into this match, y'all need to have a little bit more respect for Ernest. He is literally the only man on the planet who looks like his own hemorrhoids. Okay, so continuing. Yo, this match was fucking hard to watch.
Jim, don't hurt yourself, okay? I see you hurt yourself there.
Shotzi and Raquel were not ready to be in a Money in the Bank ladder match.
No.
I don't know what happened. I love both ladies. I think they're both great. Shotzi was still getting fans cheering for her.
That's just Joe being loud.
I apologize.
I've come to that conclusion.
I am just loud. But Shotzi looked awful in this match. She had more botches than a fucking Sabu match.
That's not true.
That's not. That's actually
not like it.
I'm sorry. We've watched a lot of Sabu matches. He botches walking to the ring.
It was one of the good Sabu matches.
No,
So
there were.
I don't think there ever was any of those.
Him and RVD had some good matches, actually.
No,
you don't remember like the
match may have been great, but I'm pretty sure somebody dropped the stretcher and they botched that.
Oh, too. Sure, yeah, it's actually valid.
100%.
But no, that match was ugly. Like,
so I take it you're making it a pre-show match.
It's hard to make it a pre-show match when it was one of the ladder matches. I guess I'm gonna go mid-card on it. And it would have been a lot better if it wasn't for those two women. I feel bad saying that Shotzi did not have a good night.
No, I agree. Her and Raquel.
Also just didn't look great, honestly.
What put us in mid-card for me was really Asuka and Becky and Liv. They saved the match, honestly. I love the spots with Becky, especially, too.
Yeah.
So,
do you guys agree? This is something I heard on Busted Open. Do you guys feel like Liv Morgan kind of gave away the finish of the match by being clearly excited as she came down to the ring? Because that's what like them on Busted Open were saying. They were like, "Oh, we knew she was gonna win because she came out already happy and crying." And
yeah, I saw somebody tweeting about it Saturday. They're like, "Well, they noticed she was like crying or something," and they were like, "Well, I guess she's winning." Like,
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice it either, man.
Bully Ray just trying to act like he knows what the fuck is going on.
I mean, I saw fans tweeting about it on Saturday night. Like, so I don't know. I
didn't see that.
If people want to look into things, I'm like, in the same time, like I remember watching D'Lo Brown and AJ Styles in a cage match. I think it was the first cage match in TNA history.
That sounded like a TNA match.
And I remember like AJ got down to the ring and like he looked up at the cage and like he kind of like took this like big deep breath. Like I think sometimes, especially if it's your first match of a certain style, I think people get over like they're over. It's a big moment. So I didn't necessarily equate it to her winning. I thought maybe it's just she's emotional because she's in the spot.
Right.
And here's the thing. Yeah, the match wasn't pretty. I'm starting to question how good Raquel Rodriguez actually is. I think she was good in NXT because she was better than some of the competition in NXT, and she was bigger and different.
How would you rate her solo matches in general outside the ladder on SmackDown so far?
Forgettable.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, her match with Ronda was.
I haven't seen one. I can't.
I was gonna say I don't know that I would say that they're forgettable.
I would
say that her match against Ronda
was good.
Was a real coming out party for her on the main roster. It's the fact that they haven't done much with her in any kind of role afterwards that makes this more detrimental than good. Same thing. Shotzi had a really good match against Ronda whenever Ronda faced her.
Right.
Then she just kind of went away for a little while, and then she won a qualifying match that was meh. And then she kind of had a car crash in Money in the Bank.
I think there was like the running up the ladder spot early.
Oh.
That she botched, and then sometimes somebody, especially again in your first type of this, maybe she just got rattled by it.
Maybe it's a situation too much too soon, I guess, in her case.
I don't even know if I would equate it too much too soon, but like if you go for a spot that you've worked out and you know you can do, but it goes wrong, some people just get overwhelmed by the moment.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of maybe what happened here. And yeah, the match wasn't pretty, but it's a Money in the Bank ladder match. It doesn't have to be pretty.
Right.
So like, I'm not necessarily. Yeah, I mean it was car crashish, and I thought that the heaviest hitters, the Liv, Asuka, Becky, I thought they did a good job at carrying the match and bringing it back. I have this kind of like right on the line between like upper mid card and main event just because of the what it got us later in the night.
Right.
So what I'm going to say about the match, there's a real feeling when it comes to these matches, that these matches are career-defining matches. When you look at the matches that you have that feeling for, Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble are the two that really stand out as like, these are career-making moments. You're either going to win a match and be a main event at WrestleMania, or you're going to carry around this briefcase, which means you're eventually going to become the world champion. So I'm going to put the Shotzi and Raquel misfires is how I'm going to use them. I'm not going to say carnage or hard to watch, as we've seen Shotzi delete her Twitter because of fan feedback on this match. I'm going to say that this is them being more absorbed in the moment, knowing that this is a match where you almost have to be perfect because one small mistake could cost you or the people that you're in the ring with potentially, years of their career because of the potential for injury.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also one thing that we're forgetting when it comes to the mistakes or the problems that were happening in this match. There was a small thing involved called a ladder. It doesn't always do what you want it to do.
Right.
So, it moves, it slides, it does things that, when you're in a singles match, if there was a real botch, you could be like, wow, Shotzi and Raquel really botched that power bomb. The ladder spots that they were involved with, ladder may have not been in the right place, ladder slides, ladder moves, shit happens. That's why I'm not as negative on the feedback on the match when it comes to the two of their performances, and again, Liv coming out crying. And if you see, even knowing what the end result is with her winning, that's Liv's first real breakout match.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, her, Lacey, Shotzi, Raquel, this is like their first real moment, Liv, and I'll say Liv took the moment better than the other two did.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's necessarily a problem. It's also Liv has been on the main roster longer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna attest this to maybe too much too soon for the two former members of the bioluminescent brand, but I'm not ready to punt on either one of them. I think they could be integral parts of the roster.
Oh yeah.
But everybody has bad nights, and it's just one of those things where when your bad night happens to come in a match of that magnitude, it's always magnified times 5. If this was Fastlane in a one-on-one match and Shotzi botched a move against Ronda and Raquel botched a move against Bianca,
beep beep.
Yeah, move on. Nobody acts like it's anything. But Money in the Bank, with how it ended and what happened, it's magnified times 6. And it sucks that it happened the way that it did. And, Shotzi put out a post on Instagram that, she deleted her Twitter because she wanted more positivity in her life. So more power to her. I hope she gets it. I have her back on that situation. So,
of course, yep.
Let's say the thing that doesn't need to be said is like, look, you're allowed to not like a match.
Of course.
Like, you're allowed to hate a match. You're allowed to hate a show. If you're gonna tweet at a wrestler who's literally like putting their life and well-being on the line for your entertainment to the point where they have to delete a fucking social media account, fuck all the way off.
Yeah.
Stop being an asshole. Stop being a fucking douchebag. Like, again, I'm not telling you that you have to love this match and be like, yeah, Shotzi was perfect in this match. No. Everybody has off nights. Kenny Omega has had off nights. John Cena has had off nights. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Hangman Page, CM Punk, whoever you list as your favorite wrestler in the entire world has had off nights.
Oh yeah.
So just don't be a fucking dick about it. Just don't. Don't. There's no need. There's just no fucking.
Can I just say one last thing about someone related in this match? I really don't like Lacey Evans' new gimmick. I enjoyed
G.I. Jane.
Yeah, I enjoyed the character she was doing where she was like the Southern Belle. I love that her finisher was the woman's right, whatever they called it. That character was interesting to me. This character is generic. Look at me. I used to be in the army. Now I have pink fatigues, or what are they called?
Camouflage.
Camouflage. Yeah, which fucking, what are you camouflaging into in hot pink? Where are you exactly?
Agreed.
False drag race.
I agree with you.
Have you not seen what half the people in society today wear, neon orange camouflage? I'm wearing neon orange camouflage right now.
So
what am I hiding into? The University of Miami football practice. That's what I'm hiding into. The fuck do you mean?
She's not hiding into anything.
Here's the thing. The real shit thing about it is when they first started airing some of those promos when she was coming back, I was actually intrigued by and I don't know if the history of her family is actually this kind of fucked up, or if they were taking liberties as part of it. I don't know. I don't know what was real and what wasn't. But I was actually kind of intrigued by the story of becoming going into the military to escape an abusive family situation and this and that. But then I feel like after a couple of weeks, they just lost the purpose of the promos. And then, now it just became this weird G.I. Jane fucking, maybe that's what she is and what she wanted to be, but it's missing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Joe that what he said, though. I agree with Joe. 100%.
You remember Major Guns in WCW? That's honestly where what it feels like at this point. Major Guns Redux.
I'm not as out of it as the two of you are. And honestly, I was over her fucking sassy Southern Belle thing. It ran its course for me.
And yeah, I mean, that character wasn't great, but at least it was more of a character to me.
She came out and said stuff that you hear in fucking Greenbow, Alabama. What really did she, what was her character? Bless your heart. Here's a handkerchief that I wipe my armpits with. Really?
No, I like it.
You can pay $99
Bless
for
your
it on
heart.
some website. For the United States title, Robert W. Lashley or Bobby defeated the Theory of Relativity in 11 minutes and 5 seconds to win the title. I'm gonna go mid card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Theory is no longer champion. I'm intrigued to see what they do with Robert from here. I'll express my displeasure later. Thank you. I'll express my displeasure with what happened later in the show at a later time.
Yeah, it's a mid card for me as well too. Solid match, did his job.
Yeah, it was a good match. I would go mid card. It's definitely not a must skip, but it's definitely also not must see.
I actually thought this match was great. It was probably one of my great matches on the show. I'm not even being funny.
There was 7 matches on the show.
This would be one of my top 3, easily.
I mean,
that means it's like 64%. That's an F. If it's not an A or if it's not 1 or 2, it's like a 64%. It's an F.
Nobody's surprised about your selection, Joe. I mean,
none of us are fucking surprised because you could count how many abs Austin Theory had the entire night.
That's so bad now that every time I see Theory, I think of you. Every time I see Theory, just randomly. If I see him like fucking randomly on.
It's not wrong. The problem is every time he sees Theory, he can't move for 35 fucking minutes.
I do think that these two work extremely well together. I'm excited for them to be wrestling again at SummerSlam. I'm going main event on this match.
I mean, whatever.
I'm so I don't want to see them wrestle again. It does nothing for me.
It does feel. No, Mike. I will say to you, Mike. It does feel like.
Well, no, stop. Hold on.
Okay,
Let me cite you about an Austin Theory Bobby Lashley rematch.
I genuinely think that they work really well together in the ring.
An 11-minute match is working great together.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's not an issue.
Bro, I've seen 11-minute matches that are not two guys working well together.
I am aware of that, but what I'm saying is what do they do that's great? Don't tell me what is it that they do that works so great together?
I think they had great chemistry with each other.
You think everybody has great chemistry with Austin Theory, including yourself?
I think these two have really great chemistry together.
Because Austin Theory runs away from him and sprays himself with baby oil? I get it. You think the guy's hot. Stop letting it cloud your judgment.
I do feel like Mike, and this is why I'll agree with you. It feels like lazy booking here.
100% it is. You literally just put the Money in the Bank briefcase on Sweet Cheeks McGee over there, and literally you now have him being wasted in a SummerSlam match trying to win back a title that he shouldn't even want anymore.
Let me ask you this real quick, though. If SummerSlam is typically in August, if this was, say, like mid-August, like normally is, do they not do this? Because, obviously it's like, 3 weeks before SummerSlam, so maybe the timing on this is like, fucking throw it again.
Then you should have had fucking Theory retain.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
Or have Bobby win via DQ so that he could be the Money in the Bank briefcase holder and the United States champion. Then he could lose the title at SummerSlam and we can move the fuck on from it.
So you went main event, Joe?
So which part is lazy here? Booking the rematch or not doing the fucking first match the smart way? Which one's really the lazy one?
All the above.
Okay, thank you.
All the above. Joe, did you go main event?
What?
Yes.
Did you go main event?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he said that this was one of the best 3 matches of a 7-match show.
Favorite matches.
Abs.
I don't understand how you can have. It's a top 3 match of a 7-match card.
What?
Hey, top 3 match and 2 of those
3 hosts on this show.
Yeah, top 3 match and 2 of those matches. Top 3 match and 2 of those matches. 2 of those 3 matches are all 3 matches. To the record, which obviously spoiler alert.
Shocker! Again.
Jim, what you got?
All I do is he already said it.
He just said okay. He said mid card. I just mid card. Mike, sorry.
I started it. I said mid card.
Mid card. Okay.
And now we're on to the next match. for the
Thank
Raw
you.
title. It's Jim's dream, Carmella. She lost to Bianca Belair in 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Jim, because Carmella is your girl, I'm gonna let you start.
Every day of the week. I'm gonna go mid card here. The match is fine. 7 minutes. It's nothing. There's nothing must see, but there's nothing skippable. Carmella, what was the tweet she sent out last week? Something, doesn't matter what she does, she's gonna excel at it. She plays every role given to her perfectly. And this included. I think her and Bianca do work well together. Again, 7 minutes isn't much to write home about on this one, but the match was fine.
She's a great utility player, obviously. It's a mid card, obviously. I mean, they have chemistry, but this match is what it is. It's a mid card. Good chemistry. Carmella's, she's good what she does. She has a place in that company for a reason, and she did. So, Joe.
Yeah, I'd go mid card on it. I didn't actually. It wasn't bad at all, but I wasn't that intrigued by it. I feel like that's no fault of anybody there.
It's no fault of anyone's. It's just fault of an Austin Theory match. He needed 7 minutes to clean up his mess.
I declare.
Mike, what you got, bud?
I'm gonna go mid card. I'm gonna pull a line from Joe here. It was one of my top 3 matches of the night.
You know what? That was not better than the Lashley Austin Theory match.
See, I'm gonna say that it was. You want to know why?
Why?
Because at the end of the day, you got everything from the chicken shit heel in Carmella there. They did it in 7 minutes, and they had the post-match beatdown that teased the Money in the Bank cash.
Shenanigans and tomfoolery.
I enjoyed that match more than Theory and Lashley because from the very perspective of, even though I knew that Carmella stood no shot at winning, Carmella made that match because everyone went on social media before and they were like, oh, great, this match is going to suck. She shouldn't even be there. This is Bianca's real first test of having to carry somebody through a match. And guess what? If she carried someone, she had a good damn carrying partner because Carmella carried her own fucking weight in that match.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Tag title match for the unified tag titles, the Usos versus the Prophets of the Street. Ernest, because you somehow remind me of Angelo Dawkins without a headband, you can start.
I mean,
wait, is that racist? That might be racist.
No, it's the fluffiness because both of them need to get into the gym.
I'm the second slowest guy on the fucking show. And how I got
turkey tits.
No, dude, this is obviously match of the night. Definitely a candidate for match of the year. Main event, motherfucker. I mean, this fucking thing and the thing is, this match actually started somewhat slow, but then it picked up and then it fucking went to like 5th gear. So main event, definitely.
Y'all gonna just let him get away with that? Like being the second slimmest guy on the show is like being the 3rd best match on a 7-match card. Like,
oh Jesus,
y'all just gonna let him get away with that?
See, here's the thing. He can say he's the second slimmest man on the show, but the problem is he can still play offensive line in some D2 schools, so it doesn't mean shit. And you know what? I could probably give you 50 pounds, and you'd still find a way to need 35 more. So the fact of the matter is we can put 2 of you together, you'd still be lighter than his ass. So I don't really give a fuck that he's trying to declare that. So yeah, that's all.
No, but seriously, main event, fucking, this is like match of the year candidate for me, man. This is fucking amazing.
Yeah, these two teams just work spectacularly together. I joked last week, I don't remember if it was on this or on 3CT, but how like, oh great, well I'm glad that we have the Usos and the Street Profits because we've never seen that match before. What's up, Craig? But man, these guys, it's like what the Hardys and the Dudleys and Edge and Christian of this generation. You can put these guys together and they're always going to deliver. Absolute main event.
Yeah, main event match of the year candidate. Slam dunk. Best match of the show. Let's not even try to sit here and say anything otherwise. The only negative that I'll say about this, and this isn't a problem with either one of the teams, give the goddamn Usos one title belt. Get rid of those fucking dime fucking store fucking tag title belts.
I hate those belts.
So bad. The only bad part about that match was the fact they had to carry both of those stupid ass title belts.
And they call them gold. It's silver.
It's like bronze.
Platinum.
Oh,
It's
silver.
platinum. No, it's platinum.
Is it
It's
platinum?
it's definitely a silver color.
Why do I think they're still using the bronze tag title?
Because those were like the unified
the ones
god
with, like,
awful ones.
pennies.
Yeah.
Original ones, the penny belts.
I'm main event on this match too. My favorite part of this match is the fact that it built. And I don't feel like you don't actually see that in a lot of matches anymore.
I thought you were gonna say your favorite part of the match was the fact that Montez Ford looks like a Austin Theory in training.
Dude, he's yoked, mother. That guy fucking more yoked. Holy shit.
No,
And he did that while the WWE has a wellness plan, not like Buddy Murphy, who had to get out of prison before he could bulk up.
no, but like genuinely, a lot of matches these days don't have that like going from first gear to second gear to third gear. You know, that's what you want out of a great match. This match had that. This match had that moment where you were like, "Oh shit." Like, we just stepped up a level. We just moved up a notch. I love when matches have that moment. This match had that moment, and that was one of those things that made me really love this match.
He took Joe off.
You want to add anything on the tag title match?
One of the greatest tag team matches I've ever seen in my life.
That was incredible.
It was insane.
And this guy has Heart Foundation Demolition in his.
And I fast forward a lot of matches. I watched that match. That match was insane. I mean, like Joe said, yeah. We did this. Now we did this. Now we did this. And it was just.
But that was the best part too. That it just built up. It's the best part.
The best part was that it built up.
Just building and building and building and building.
And Montez Ford went about 96%.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that spot was sick.
Off center, and that was just
Insane.
that was sick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right, so that's that match. Next up, we have for the SmackDown Women's Title, Ronda Rousey defeated Natalya via submission, 12 minutes 30 seconds. This match sucked
Pre-show next.
so bad. Okay.
Natalya tried, man. Natalya tried.
I can't believe you're about to defend a fucking Natalya Ronda.
Okay, I'm not defending the match.
Pre-show next. No.
Guy.
Wait,
It's definitely pre. Let's go. Let's start here. It's definitely pre-show. Let's get this out of the way.
7 match.
That match was great. No,
And one of them was a Money in the Bank cash, and that lasted
Mind
35 seconds.
mind you, wait, listen. I'm not saying that Natalie and Ronda was a good match. I'm saying that in ring, both of those women put on a hell of a performance. Like, they are both fantastic wrestlers. The problem is
Natalie's face doesn't move.
Oh
And she
God.
character. Like, you don't
She
care
looks-
about her is
No,
part of the problem.
because her whole career she's been the same
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Now
Like,
she's all,
if you
Just out of curiosity,
if these characters were characters that you cared about, then their wrestling ability would have made this an excellent match. But they're characters that you don't care that much about, and then their wrestling ability is like, yeah, right, that's great. But like, I already am not invested, so who cares?
this is not our first heel one,
This
right?
match
Obviously,
had
right?
one good spot in it. This match had one good spot in the
on
entire
the
match.
on the apron when she
The
like
roll-up?
whipped her into
No,
the
no.
turnbuckle.
The fact that when Ronda Rousey was trying to pull off the sharpshooter, she decided to pull the Shawn Michael pose at the same time because
Yeah.
she was watching the fuck out of it.
Pretty clever.
That was the only cool part of the entire match.
This is not her, Natalya's first like heel run, right? No, she's had many of these, right?
Oh, she said plenty.
Okay, I haven't seen any heel runs.
But what I would say is this is pre-show. It's the worst match of the night by far for me.
I'll go mid card.
Yeah, it was awful.
Top three?
But then, and because Joe somehow got away with a 6-match card becoming a 7th match card, putting Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory in the top 50% of his shows, because I'm not even counting this as a fucking. Liv Morgan cashed in the women's Money in the Bank to take the SmackDown title from Ronda Rousey. I'm gonna say the moment itself is a main event moment. the 35-second match is probably mid card because of Ronda's knee injury. But I don't necessarily know that we can really give it a grade because it was only 35 seconds, like normal cash-ins.
It's more of an angle than a match.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously, the moment was cool event. Yeah,
I'm gonna say. Okay, I'm not gonna say this, but I'm gonna say this.
But you're gonna say
I don't want to go down a whole road because this could be its own whole topic. But I said it to you guys already. I don't get Liv Morgan. I don't get the appeal. I don't think she's as charming as people seem to think she is.
Have you not seen her from behind?
That's race. That's race. Joe, that's racist.
But hold on. People, you want to bring up Liv Morgan? What is it about Austin Theory that makes him so great and be a future WWE star?
I think that he can emote an interesting character. I think he can play heel really well.
And I think Liv Morgan's realness is better than any fake character that Austin Theory can play.
See, her realness to me doesn't actually work. Like that promo on Raw the other night, she literally, all she did was scream and say things that she did. She was the fucking Troy Aikman of like football announcing, whenever he's just like, if he had just caught that ball, he'd have had a touchdown. No shit. She literally came out.
But who is the last person that's done that?
But that's not a good promo. Like she came out and
Austin Theory hasn't cut a good promo ever in WWE.
I disagree with that completely. I like his work.
Of course you do, because you think he has 37 abs.
I'm a fan of Austin Theory. We've established this. My point about Liv Morgan...
I'm countering your point, is what I'm doing.
But no. My point about Liv Morgan is I don't enjoy her work the way a lot of other people seem to. Like, her actual work. Not talking about her looks, not talking about any of that. I get it if that's why people like her. Totally get that. I get how she's an attractive woman. That's fine. But she literally came out on Raw and all she said was, I won the title last night. I beat the champion. I'm going to defend it now. Like, it's shitty promo work, and it doesn't make me care about her at all.
So your boy came out with Money in the Bank and said, I won Money in the Bank. Boo Bobby Lashley for beating me. I want my title back. He did the exact same thing.
No, but he didn't scream the whole time. He's better at promo.
To me, that, like, the realness of Liv, like, because here's the thing, most promos in WWE feels like it's scripted, feels like it's rehearsed. She doesn't. Like that's one of the things that I enjoy, because they're actually letting her be her.
Good point.
Yeah, I don't see it personally.
And here's the deal. I will say that Theory's promo Monday with Lashley on Raw was his best work to date in WWE. Like, I don't know if it's just taking time for him to grow into the role, and into being on the main roster or what, but it was definitely his best work to date on the mic.
The only other thing I want to say about this angle or whatever,
Kurt?
Karen, actually. I really didn't like Ronda doing the whole handshaking thing and everything after having the Money in the Bank cash.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Ronda
because that wasn't like, oh, I'm a good guy and I lost the match fair and square and everything. It's like you had this thing cashed in on you. You basically had the title stolen from you, and now you're gonna shake her hand and be like,
right.
"Stop, kid." That doesn't ring true to what a competitor would do.
No, I'm with you, Joe, because I don't even like babyface Ronda anyway. So I don't. The whole thing's just shit to me. This Ronda's in shit.
I mean,
she's much better suited as a heel.
Absolutely, without question.
Because her rah-rah promos suck.
Yeah, no,
I don't like it.
Just whenever she comes back, just let her just tear through the women's division.
Let her be a bitch. Fuck it.
Exactly.
I think that the post-match stuff fits what she's been doing on this run. Not a fan of it. It doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. But I think
probably enjoying it.
It fits.
Maybe them throwing.
I mean, I would say that she is enjoying it, because part of Liv getting the cash in is reportedly like Ronda wanted that.
Right.
So I think part of what we saw after the cash in, which the main event, by the way, but I think what we saw there was probably as much, if not more, reality than show.
I don't hate it. I actually find it more interesting because it's a true passing of the torch from champion to champion. No, it's not on the level of Hogan handing the title to the Warrior and all that bullshit. But it's one of those things where, Ronda ran through that division, and second time in a row that she's been champion and lost at Money in the Bank. Let's not forget that. Alexa Bliss, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't hate her handing the title over. Haha, you got me on this one, but don't think I'm not coming back for it. And if that means that she's a heel whenever they wrestle again, because this is the switch that gets flipped for her to go heel, then that's what it is. But in the moment, she's a face. She had the title lost to another face. Congratulations, you got one over on me. Here's the title. I'm coming back for it.
And I'm going to break your leg.
When she says that on Friday night, whenever they have the match set up for SummerSlam, then she's going into that match as the heel, and now it makes perfect sense.
Wait, you don't think she's going to wait for a little bit? Oh, no. Ronda.
I don't know.
You literally just said, is it lazy booking the fact that we're getting a rematch between Money in the Bank and fucking U.S. title? You don't think that the champion isn't going to get a rematch before she goes away in 3 weeks? I mean, if we're going to be lazy, we might as well just be lazy from top to bottom, right? I mean
we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if we're going to be lazy about that match, why aren't we being lazy about
everything else?
That a champion lost her title the same way that the champion lost the U.S. title and is declaring his rematch in 3 weeks. Why wouldn't the champion that had the title actually wrongfully taken from her invoke the rematch clause the same way? I don't.
The only reason that it wouldn't happen is if Ronda's not sticking around, which I feel like is a possibility.
I feel like we could get Ronda versus Becky in a match at SummerSlam for a number one contender for a title, and then Becky could beat Ronda and Ronda could go away then.
But what I'm saying though is like she might already have it worked out where she's already gone. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. If she is there,
then yeah.
And it doesn't end up with her versus Liv.
Right.
It ends up her against somebody else with some stupid stipulation on it. Then it's gonna be like, okay, well, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, no. I'd rather see her fight Liv if she's sticking around.
Of course.
And it's the perfect person for Liv to defend the title against. I actually don't know if there's any other clearly set up challengers other than
Lacey
Natty.
Evans.
Dear fucking God, if they give us
Lacey Evans.
I'm afraid it's gonna be Natty.
Lacey Evans makes perfect sense because of the spot that Liv hit with the powerbomb off the ladder. They had interaction throughout that entire match. Lacey Evans would make perfect sense to have a SummerSlam match. And guess what? It doesn't have to be a 5-star match because it could go on third after you have a kick-ass match to start the show to help bring the crowd down. I'm just saying.
Next one.
Main event, men's Money in the Bank match. Yeah, that fucking schmuck got out of it.
Here we go. Joe smiling. Look at Joe smiling.
25 minutes, 25 seconds. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Somebody else go.
Joe, you want to just get it out of the way?
I mean, this is my favorite match on the show, obviously.
Yeah, a 6-match card, and you have Bobby Lashley versus Theory. It's a top 3 match.
It was.
He was in fucking.
It's a borderline main event /
That's not my fault. I didn't book it.
Yeah, but if it's the number 3 match on the show, it's still 50%, which means it shouldn't be a main event, but you gave it a main event grade. So I'm saying, 50% is an F, sir.
I'm just saying, this match was my favorite match on the show. I thought this was a great Money in the Bank match. I thought they did some really great spots in it overall. I was a fan.
Make sure it doesn't come on.
It's a main event for you, obviously, right? Obviously.
Yeah, it's a main event for me.
No,
I'll be honest, I don't know that I would have gone with Austin Theory winning. I didn't see him getting added to the match coming. Once he got added to the match, it felt obvious he was going to win.
You didn't see him get added to the match. No, you were.
You knew he was going to win. Once they fucking added to the match, you knew he was going to win this fucking match. No, the match was great. I actually enjoyed the match a lot itself. I mean, main event for me. A questionable selection and obviously him winning it, but I'm actually kind of intrigued now about what direction to go in.
Well,
I'm still invested. But that's the main event though.
I kind of think though, 2 things with Theory. He's going to get better on the mic than what he's doing right now because he's going into a program with Cena. So that makes sense why you give Lashley the title, give him the money in the bank. Me and this guy were discussing it.
Mhm.
And maybe at some point, Theory runs his mouth too much, getting way better at his promos and a good thing with Cena. Maybe comes up with something like, I'll bet you anything I can beat you. Put the briefcase on the line. Give it to Cena, cashes in 17.
Well, that
I'm intrigued by the direction they're going. I'm intrigued.
I mean, look, I'm not a fan of him getting the money in the bank, but I mean, for years, a lot of people have said WWE doesn't make new stars, WWE doesn't try different things. Well, I have a phrase that I've said literally for 8 years on 3CT, and it's be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you might get it, and that's what we got here. So let's see what happens. Maybe he wins the U.S. title back and he cashes in the briefcase and he loses. I don't know.
Yes.
But let's see what happens.
Can I ask
Also,
what though?
But here's the deal. How about we just don't have him cash in in the first 3 weeks? Like, let's actually have a long Money in the Bank briefcase holder for once. Like, I feel like, I mean, especially on the women's side, I feel like on the women's side, the longest you've had a briefcase holder is about a month and a half.
Well, the
And
last three,
even
I think were cash in, handed the title after the pregnancy, and who
Last
cashed
year?
one? Last year?
Nikki ASH, right?
Right?
No,
Nikki-
Asuka
Nikki-
2 years ago.
No, Nikki had it last year. Asuka won the belt 2
2
years
years ago.
Yeah, Nikki won it last year. Now this one, and because Nikki was only had it for what, a couple weeks?
No, Nikki cashed in the very next night on
The
Raw.
next night.
Then
So
lost the title at SummerSlam.
I bet you that the reason why the women always end up cashing in really quickly is some stupid ass thing like Vince McMahon doesn't want them carrying around a briefcase. Like that it wouldn't look right for a woman to be carrying around a briefcase or some stupid shit like that. I bet
You
you
never know.
that has something
Maybe.
to do with why
Maybe
it
you should
always
wear an
happens.
apron while she did it.
It's been
man,
money.
just give me a
person.
long, like they keep pushing. You have this up to a year,
Maybe-
up to a year.
Maybe it reminds him of that paralegal. Maybe she used to carry around a briefcase every time he was forcing
I like to see a nice, few months of this thing to let it settle a little bit, and then someone cash. I wouldn't mind Theory going into as far as Survivor Series.
You would get Raw after Mania cash-ins. Give me one of those again.
We haven't had that since what? Dolph Ziggler did it after
Yeah, I think so.
For 10 years.
night. That shit was
Fuck,
awesome.
man. Give me that.
Let me ask you a question before Mike goes for his selection. This one.
Oh,
You were saying, Jim. You were saying you didn't like the Theory winning it.
But
Who
we
would,
have
who would you prefer to win the Money in the Bank instead?
underhanded situations. You know what I mean?
Like I said with him.
I mean, I think Sammy would have been fun. Rollins would have been almost an obvious choice.
Yeah.
Considering the run he's been on. And I think you could have gotten away with doing it with Drew.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mike?
Mid.
I'll go upper mid for this one. I won't go as far as saying main event.
Mid. The match was good. It was blatantly obvious from the very beginning when Adam Pearce came out and announced that fucking Theory was going into the match that he was winning.
That it was.
Let's fucking be real. He's not ready to be a world champion. Even if his promos go up 300%, he's still like 35 pounds soaking wet with a brick in his pocket. He's 25, and I don't think that he should be anywhere near ending the God reign of Roman Reigns. So I guess the question here, and we can then transfer to the extra part of the topic, which was, what would you do with SummerSlam? What do you do with his contract? Who does he beat? Because even if he goes up 300% in his promos, he's still 100 pounds lighter than Roman Reigns. If you're making him hold the contract for an extended period of time, and not going for the blatantly obvious cash-in at SummerSlam after the match that he so had to mention in the fucking promo that he cut. Thanks, bud. We know you're not fucking cashing in now. Here's what I would do. I would actually have him cash in at SummerSlam.
Okay.
And then the next night, the Usos got involved. Paul Heyman distracted me, Mr. McMahon. I need my briefcase back. You got it, Austin. Here you go. And just let him fucking cash it in and lose like 4 times. And be the poor stepson that I was wrongfully couldn't win. Here you go. Have it back. Try it again.
You mean like a millennial?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Turn his character.
Participation trophy.
It's different.
Yeah. He gets participation. He gets a participation briefcase.
The guy's more different.
But every time you give him one, you got to give it smaller.
Yes.
Oh God.
Envelope.
Yeah. No, then he's got like
The little lunchbox. The little lunchbox.
I tend to agree with Mike here. Even though I like to see at least a long few months of the not being cashed in, I do think SummerSlam is probably the most obvious.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. If he doesn't cash in at SummerSlam, when's the next time Roman's gonna be there? Survivor
Series.
He'll be on the Castle show.
Well, yeah, that too. You don't think he'll be a Castle show?
He's got to fight Drew.
Yeah, and the only thing that makes sense is that a post-match beatdown, and then you let the entire portion of Scotland that's going to be in that cause a fucking riot like William Wallace, and you have him cash in and take the title off of Drew. And then every fan
all you did was ask the question, when's the next time we see Roman? I answered the question.
Honestly, the sad thing is, because I don't know that I want to see Austin Theory. I like the idea of him being a guy who cashes in and loses. I don't think he needs the world title right now. I don't think
he does not need the world title.
I don't think it would hurt him to be a guy that cashes in and loses. I don't think that he would take like the Damien Sandow route and be irrelevant after that or anything.
Elias' twin?
He just wants the sympathy sex.
No.
It's okay, honey.
Joe.
All I'm saying is, though, in a weird way, though, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense if Theory were to win the title at SummerSlam because he's the perfect guy to lose it to Drew at Castles in the Sky. Honestly, he's a great transitional champion.
But he's not the right guy to end the God Run.
Well,
no, definitely not.
I agree with you on that. I do. No, I 100% agree with you on that. But they do have the chance to go the route where, like Brock could win the title, and you could have Roman and the Usos beat the shit out of Brock right after that, and then have Theory cash in and take it and pretend like he just won this huge match when really all he did was pick up the pieces like a vulture, which is exactly what half the Money in the Bank cash-ins, especially when they're heels. That's what they do anyway. And then, like I said, just for the sake of transitioning into Drew getting to win the title from him at the show in Scotland. Yeah, exactly. I could see that making sense.
Do you truly want Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns 73 at fucking WrestleMania next year in LA?
There's a chance we get that anyway. If Rock isn't available.
If we could stay the fuck away from that, though, back-to-back years.
I don't disagree. Right, exactly.
But because they said Drew and Corbin are fighting each other at WrestleMania next year.
Oh,
nice. I love it.
Cody is winning the Royal Rumble, so I don't think you have to worry about that.
Who is?
The Coldster.
The Urban American Dream.
The Coldster. Brother.
But I said it. I would have them break the fucking titles up still. Fuck this. I'm over this fucking one title thing.
Say about it.
Especially when the fucking guy isn't there with the fucking title belt.
Exactly.
So when Brock Lesnar held the Universal title hostage, at least the WWE title was still there for one of the shows to have something to draw on. Neither fucking title is there, and this is a fucking waste.
I don't hate that the title's not there because 2 weeks ago on SmackDown when it was Riddle versus Roman, it was must-see TV. The world title, the unified world title, should be must-see TV. And for a while, pre this Roman run, there was times where WWE title or Universal title wasn't must-see TV because it was just there. I have no problem with the titles not being there. My issue is WWE failing to utilize everything else underneath the card.
I still
make the Intercontinental title important. Make the U.S. title important.
That I agree with.
Make the tag titles important. Make the women's titles important. Hell, there's a women's tag division, and again, this was the failure. The failure of the women's tag division was not utilizing NXT as part of it, because you have some great women's tag teams in NXT that could be a part of this fucking imaginary women's tag title tournament that you could make it a priority on the main roster.
See, but I'm gonna what I'm gonna go
challenge against Roman.
So here's the thing, though. They have used the titles. They put the Intercontinental title on a guy that they're trying to build in Gunther.
Right. They're finally getting that right.
Okay, but they did it with the U.S. title. They had it on the guy that they just put Money in the Bank on, and they gave it back to Bobby, who's now your main face on Raw because Cody is hurt. You have the best tag team in wrestling today, outside of FTR, involved in multiple great matches since Roman's been gone, including continuing the Bloodline thing. Bianca Belair has been defending the title in good matches. Ronda Rousey's even had good matches on SmackDown. They've been doing what you're asking them to do. And the fact of the matter is there's still not a single soul on either roster that's there week in and week out that makes sense to end the God Run. We had to bring back Brock Lesnar so there was someone believable for him to fight at SummerSlam.
Well, that's because Randy and Cody are both out hurt.
But if you had one of the title belts there, the Universal title could be gone and no one would give a fuck either way, because you have SmackDown using the Usos, using Gunther, using now Ronda / to now Liv Morgan in the titles and making those titles meaningful. The fact that Raw finished with a pose down that saw Bobby Lashley get sprayed in the face with baby oil, this literally feels like a Raw is War from 1995.
Yeah, that was horrible placement for that segment. That was not a main event segment.
But if you had the world title leading into a match at Money in the Bank between whomever was the champion at the time, because it wouldn't have been Brock Lesnar, versus whomever would the challenger have been, that probably would have been your main event segment, which would have meant that Bobby Lashley also
the women's title should have been the closing the show then.
But that same night was the night they announced that Rhea Ripley, who was supposed to fight for the Raw Women's title, wasn't there, and you had an opening segment that was them determining who was going to fight for the title.
So just flip the first and the last.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
You know what I mean. That's an easy fix that you can make it make sense more.
Sure,
even
absolutely.
without the WWE title there.
I'm just someone. If you're going to unify the titles, the guy that unified them needs to be there more than once every 3 months. Even if he's just there to cut a promo. I don't care.
I agree.
Let him be seen. Hell, film something at his house where he literally comes out and says, Paul comes up to him and goes, Roman, we got to go to SmackDown. And he looks Roman in the eyes and goes, no, we don't, because there still ain't anyone there that can fucking beat me.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I don't think he needs to be in the building.
I don't care.
Because I also think, because we saw him against Riddle. Isn't he on SmackDown tomorrow night or next week or something they announced?
I don't even know.
As we're heading towards SummerSlam, we're going to see him leading up to the Castle. I also think part of that couple-month break was the fact that he was hurt.
Oh, he 100% was hurt.
So, like, I have no problem with him being away to rest up again.
You know what's interesting too is, though,
they were stupid for unifying the titles to begin with. Yes, you're right.
If you've watched those shows in the last couple of months, SmackDown has felt the absence a lot more than Raw has. There is more going on Raw, especially when you had Seth and Cody still doing their thing. That was main event. You didn't need a title with that. It didn't matter the champion wasn't around. That was your main event program. That was must-see TV on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. And Seth Rollins, in and of himself, is still kind of must-see TV on a weekly basis. I tune into Raw to see what Seth Rollins is going to do specifically. He doesn't need a title. Exactly. SmackDown, on the other hand, you're right. The week where the Usos fought RK Bro, that was a must-see SmackDown. You wanted to see that match. That match felt important. Mm-hmm. The week where Roman fought Matt Riddle, that was a must-see SmackDown. You wanted to see that match. That match felt important. Every other part of SmackDown, even during those 2 episodes, and then every week where those weren't the big things, have been complete and utter skippable television shows. They're 2 hours worth of, all right, we got to produce some kind of content. Let's just do something, get it the hell out there, and move on with our lives.
If you're a wrestling fan, you want to watch it because you like professional wrestling.
Yeah. And
but
honestly,
if you're not a wrestling fan and you're checking out SmackDown on Fox, you're gonna see some of those segments and you're gonna go, what the fuck is this shit?
like I remember I watched that episode a few weeks ago and I was texting you guys while I was watching it and I was like, literally the only worthwhile thing in this entire 2 hours was the Kevin Owens show segment with Sami Zayn. That was like all of 10 minutes and was hilarious because it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You could always trust those two to be hilarious. One of those two men is not even on the SmackDown roster, mind you. He was just randomly on SmackDown that week.
And now he's not even around because I think he's hurt too.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
All right, let's get the show rolling. We go to 1 hour for this topic. That was a good one, though.
Buddy, why stop with the time limits? We had this text message conversation. Just move on.
Let's do it. All right. So my topic
the breakdowns here.
my topics will be pretty quick. Should be fairly easy. As we started 2 weeks ago. Overrated, underrated. What? We're not doing it anymore?
No, we literally just said something about time, and he goes, "Mine should be short." What the fuck?
You guys should fight it out.
It's not.
Mine's a side thing. Mine's a quick side thing though. So anyway,
This just keeps spinning and nothing changes. Wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
it's Journey. Shut up. All right. So this week, overrated, underrated, we're gonna do Stone Cold Steve Austin. Of course, this is stolen from what was it? Straight Shoot, the name of the podcast on TikTok.
Yeah.
That might.
Name of the channel, yes.
Yeah, channel. Yeah. They have a podcast too, apparently. So four things related to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I want to talk about whether they're underrated, whatever. First thing is the beer bath from Raw from March of 1999. The big famous beer bath in the arena. Is that underrated or overrated?
I don't understand. What are we doing?
Overrated, underrated. I'm gonna say it's properly
Overrated,
rated.
underrated. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'm gonna say it's properly rated. It was the first of its kind. Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon played an epic role with them swimming in the beer that Austin was shooting at them. It was perfectly done. It was one of those things where you can remember where you were at and like calling your friends and going, "Oh my God, Steve's driving a beer truck to the ring. No shit, he's spraying McMahon in them with the beer." Like properly rated.
Yeah, the only time where they repeated it and it actually worked was with Kurt Angle.
Yeah, the milk. Yeah, it's fucking
Truck.
crazy.
Like that's a class. This is a classic segment, so you can't call it overrated, but it's a classic segment, so you can't call it underrated. This feels like
But I will.
rated. Right, it's
Rated properly.
rated. It's properly rated. Yeah.
I would say it's Steve Austin's second greatest food and or beverage segment in wrestling history, and I'll get to this. I'll get to the other one at the end.
Did you just steal literally like the four things that they talked about,
Yes.
or did you come up with
No,
your own?
no, you
'Cause
stole
you
it right.
could have come up with your own.
Yeah, but I decided at least we're good.
He took it from
You could have just been inspired.
no chance.
No
I
chance.
will without just saying properly rated, I'll say probably a little bit underrated because I think this is one of the, without actually having a list in front of me, this is probably one of the top segments in Austin's history.
No, it's definitely underrated for me. And watching it in real time, especially, like, what the fuck is this? Like, you've never seen this shit before. It's like this the impact and that whole build to that Mania with The Rock, for a match that ended up being very mediocre anyway. At least that build was awesome, and that was part of that build. So, all right, what about the what chance?
Hold on, before we go there, the only other segment with food and or beverages that I would take over that for Stone Cold was clean up aisle asshole.
Yes.
The Booker T.
Yeah.
But the what chance, I'm going to say it's overrated. But it's not overrated because of it was around when Austin was. It was because idiotic fans still do it to this day when people talk.
I'm right there, right there with you, man.
That
Right
was
there with
always
you.
annoying too.
I hate it when Austin was around because that was always his thing. Hey, are
But
you in
when
this
Austin
commercial?
did it,
Are you in this commercial with
oh my
Bonefish
God,
Grill?
It is Bonefish Grill. Why do we have commercials?
Because TV is in this
Fuck,
movies.
I love us.
You're an idiot. What?
Overrated. Fucking.
The only time the what chance worked for me with Stone Cold was whenever he was listing off what he drank.
Like if he was doing it.
No, what he drank. Whenever he's like, shot of beer or shot of tequila. What? Another shot. What? Another shot. What? Beer. What? Bloody Mary.
And a margarita.
It would be fun too, though, when like wrestlers would get really annoyed by it, and they'd go out and say things like, "If you sleep with your sister, say what?"
Yes.
Yeah.
And then half the crowd would be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like Undertaker was great for that.
Yes.
To me, it's overrated, not because of Austin. Like I said it. When Austin did it, was awesome. It's
Do you want Y2J? Or do you want Booker T? So while I was trying to make that decision, I drove over to the Sonic Drive-In, ordered a jalapeno burger, a chicken fried steak sandwich, a chili cheese dog with extra onions, French fries, tater tots, washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a
Bloody Mary.
Wait.
And I said, Stone Cold.
Yeah, it's awesome because he's letting the audience.
No, like
The audience participation really is fun. Better question than your overrated, underrated on this one, okay?
Mhm.
What is the more annoying chant? The what chant or the this is wrestling chant?
The yes chant whenever fucking Daniel Bryan is now in a different company. And we
yeah, that's
Yeah,
annoying as
that's
shit.
fucking dumb.
No, it's funny. Like,
Sorry, I went there.
it's funny though, because like the what chance is actually my favorite thing he's ever done. Personally, I love the
This is
what chance.
wrestling, probably the more.
Wait.
Wait.
Wholly in the name of Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff is the greatest feud of all time. This man just said that the best thing that Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No, I'm saying the best part of his character. My favorite part of his character is the what chance. I fucking love what chance, but it's overrated. It's overrated though.
Hold on.
Out of everything that Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You don't remember Stone Cold throwing a hand up and some guy like chucking in beers like he was Peyton Manning in the NFL and he was Reggie Wayne just being like,
all
I know. I love, dude. Again, I love the what chance.
the great
I fucking love the what chance.
What?
Box's defense.
God.
He said character. In Stone Cold, so you can't say what he did feud wise and match wise.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like part of his gimmick.
Stop talking. The adults are talking. Toolbox, sit over there, Craftsman.
Hurry up! I gotta move this fucking shoulder.
I'll get back to you. In Snap-on's defense, he's literally saying that his favorite characteristic part of a Stone Cold's character was the what. He probably likes a feud more than the what chant, and he probably likes matches more than the what chant. But his like the character itself.
But even then, I feel like there's things about his character.
See, no, that you can attack. You can't say
Okay,
match or
okay,
anything like
fair.
that.
No, I love
There
it.
are things about his
But
character.
again, it's overrated because the fucking fans made it fucking annoying. When he does it, it's great. When the fans do it, it's fucking stupid.
All right, next one. I'm
Next one. All right.
tired of that.
1 second. Sorry about that. 1 second. My phone's
Snap on in the corner.
Yeah, for real.
his theme music. Over and underrated.
Stop.
Theme music.
It's not my fault. He looks like a WNBA player.
What?
What's up, Brittany Griner?
What?
Can I put a Brittany Griner jersey on you and you can play for them because she's going to be locked up for the next 10 years?
Probably.
Locked up,
Don't let me out.
locked up.
His music is
The comrades will never
underrated.
out.
Enjoy prison, comrade.
His music is underrated because at the end of the day, anytime that music hits, no matter if you know he's coming out or not, it gets the best pop of the night, hands down. So the fact that it still gets the best pop 25 years later, yeah, it's underrated.
Joe?
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna say overrated just because it's not my favorite song. I don't have a good reason.
It's not even.
Jim?
It's like a tart.
It's like underrated.
I'm gonna probably rate it because most people believe that it's the greatest theme music in history of the company.
Nobody
I
believes.
agree.
There are a lot of
A
people.
lot of people agree with that. Yes.
Shawn Michaels' music is definitely better.
No.
It's top 10, but not fucking.
Oh,
Again, take your
Anyone-
Regency bias
no,
out of this.
Anyone
Exactly.
sings their own theme song, their theme song is instantly 5 times better. Steve Austin did not sing his theme song.
Nah, I'm out on that judgment.
nothing
All
to
right.
say with Austin.
The
All
fact
right,
that
finally.
Sherry Martel was on his theme song at one point brings it down 35 levels.
Yes, thank you. It's terrible. And finally, the Stone Cold Stunner. Overrated, underrated. Mike?
Wow. How is this even a conversation?
It's probably my favorite finishing maneuver.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I'm underrated on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love the move. I love the fact that he could really hit it out of nowhere at times.
It's such a great move that Kevin Owens going around doing it still doesn't feel like
Gimmick infringement.
gimmick infringement. Right. It still just feels like, yeah, I know, it's a great move. Somebody should be fucking doing it. It's like the RKO.
So you underrated too, Joe?
Diamond Dallas Page invented the Diamond Cutter. It was such a cool fucking
Okay.
move.
Johnny Ace invented the Ace Crusher
Fuck Johnny.
in 1989.
No. See,
And
hold on. If we're canceling Chris Benoit for killing
Piece
his
of
family, we have
shit.
to cancel fucking Johnny Ace for fucking paying off bitches.
oh my god.
So Mike underrated, Joe underrated too.
It doesn't exist anymore. Diamond
Yeah,
Dallas Page
underrated.
invented the Diamond Cutter, which then transformed into the RKO because it was a badass move. Just like Kevin Owens has reinvented the Stunner because it's a badass.
Who was the first person to ever use the stunner? Was it Austin? Because that move seems like someone must have done it at some point.
So what I'll say is I think somebody may have used it like a one-off thing, but it didn't end in a pin.
Did Chris Adams ever use it? Because I know he trained Austin.
Possibly, but I'm just saying when it came the first time I truly remember him using the Stunner was at King of the Ring. With Jake the Snake really badly selling it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Also, too, I will say this: underrated. The fact that nobody seems to appreciate that it's the Stone Cold Stunner, and he used to be stunning Steve Austin.
True. Jim.
Underrated. It's so.
Oh yeah, underrated for real. Fucking amazing. Fucking move.
The Stunner.
No, I'm opening the brackets because that's the next segment. And I know that they're just trying to fucking time this thing like we're running the fucking 40-yard dash. Click. That was a 9.440, buddy. You just dropped 3 rounds in your fucking draft grade.
All right, let's do it. Trios tourney. Round 1.
All right, I guess I'll take the lead since I have the bracket up in front of me. There are 4 of us here. My tiebreaker was going to be if somebody strongly wanted a team to advance or not. That person and another person would each pick a number between 1 and 10, and that's how we would determine who's moving on. But I'm changing that on the fly this week because Craig is sitting next to us. Craig will be the tiebreaker if we get to a tie.
Did you get the picture I sent you with the results?
Yes, I was actually filling out the bracket while you guys were doing it. So it was easy. All right, the 116 matchup. All right, hold on. Let's backtrack here, and I'm actually going to read off those of you at home, the 3CT bracket. If you're not listening to them, find them 3CT on any of your major podcast catchers. Their bracket, the teams that moved on were the 16 seed, which was Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Ace Austin. They defeated the Bullet Club Lane Point O trio of El Phantasmo, Chase Owens, and Yujiro Takahashi. Their 9 seed Death Triangle, which is obviously Pac, Penta, and Rey Fenix, defeated Mai Sharona, Pierre Car Ouellette, and Boom Boom Cabana. The House of Black defeated Ernest's really bad team of Dante Martin and the Acclaim because he's a moron.
They didn't fucking make it. God, that sucks.
Los Incredinobles de Japón of Shingo, Bushi, and Naito defeated Hardys and Johnny Hardy, or Johnny Elite, or Johnny insert name of company here. Johnny 3CT. Billy Ass and the Ass Boys were defeated by the Best Friends. The United Empires, Great Cranberry Ocean Spray, Genghis Khan and Jeff Corn on the Cob defeated Taguchi Japan. Ernest with his other really bad fucking team, Kazarian, Christian, and Jungle Boy were defeated 5-0. Queen sweep by the team of Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Vincent. And the 15-2 matchup saw the Omega Bucks in a 5-0 sweep over another one.
I love that name, dude.
Starks, Hobbs, and Samoa Joe, Team Taz.0. Ernest, do better.
Can't.
Yeah, because your team's about to get eliminated here, too. 116 matchup, Motor City Machine Guns and Speedball Mike Bailey representing Impact Wrestling. They take on the trio of Keith Lee, Shane Swerve Strickland, and for some reason, Ernest put fucking Miro with them. Joe, who you voting for?
I guess I'm going to take the Impact team because I really don't like Miro teaming with Swerve and Lee.
Jim?
Give me the Impact team.
I will also take the Motor City Machine Guns and Speedball Mike Bailey, meaning Ernest is 1 vote for Swerve, Lee, and...
Wait, asshole. I'm picking number 1 as well, too. The fuck? Clean sweep. Let's go.
You that's your team. You get stuck with it.
No.
Clean sweep. Match up another one of Ernest's fucking creations. Andrade El Idolo, Brian Cage, and Scorpio Sky. How can you not have guys that are like in trios?
I don't know, but I'm taking FTR and Gresham. Let's go.
FTR and Jonathan Gresham, Team Ring of Honor. Joe?
Yeah.
Jim?
It's easy.
Yep.
All right, that's a 4-0 sweep. 5-12 matchup, another team from Impact Wrestling, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and Eric Young taking on CM Punk, Darby Allin, and Sting.
I'm going to go Phil, Darby, and Steve.
Y'all on first name basis with that
Just
now?
because you voted for them like that, I almost want to take the other team just
But Steve, I mean, we do. Steve, hey.
I'll vote for team White People Cookout. That is Sting, Darby.
This is literally the whitest team in the history of fucking wrestling.
I guess I'm going to take team Straight Edge and Illegitimate Stepdad.
Yeah, Punk, Darby, and Sting.
Clean sweeps.
The first of the women's trios here, the 4-13 matchup, Deonna Purrazzo, Britt Baker, and Taya Valkyrie take on the Blackpool Combat Club of Brian Daniel Bryanson, John Moxley, and was this Claudio or Wheeler Yeater?
I thought it was Wheeler.
I think it was. It was Wheeler.
I don't think Claudio had debuted yet.
Correct. It was Wheeler.
BCC. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for BBC.
Of course you would BBC, of course.
Wow.
You don't know
Fucking
nothing about that, Ernest.
I mean,
Right. Just gonna go ahead and move that on, and we're just gonna get away from this.
Yeah.
The 3-14 matchup: Eddie Kingston, Pride and Powerful take on the team of Suzuki Gun, which is Zack Sabre Jr., Minoru Suzuki, and Jim's favorite wrestler on the entire AEW roster, as talked about on last week's show, Lance Archer.
I am stunned though. Is he eating complaint? Well, he was on the show. I don't believe him.
Fuck you, buddy.
Y'all
Complaint this week.
I say, why would I complain about a guy who's not on the show?
Yeah, I didn't finish it yet, so I wasn't sure if he showed up or not.
Y'all know Ernest has UBC, right? Unimpressive Black Hawk.
I don't know how we fucking got here. I'm voting for.
I mean, what can I do?
I'm good on Eddie Kingston and Pride and Powerful.
Let's go.
I'm going with Zack Sabre Jr., Minoru Suzuki, and Lance Archer, because if there's a trios that could actually go to war with Eddie Kingston and Pride and Powerful, it's this one, because Minoru Suzuki's a fucking god.
I can't vote against Kingston, so I'm going to vote for Kingston.
You think I'm voting for Lance Archer? You're out of your goddamn mind. Kingston.
Yeah, me too. Kingston and Pride and Powerful.
God, I hope they lose in the next round. Next up, the 6-11 matchup, the other women's trios, Jordan Grace, Thunder Rosa, and Jessica Havoc versus the Briscoes and Josh Alexander. I'm definitely going the Briscoes and Josh Alexander.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I will take Death by Jordan Grace, and I will tap out.
Oh, dude.
Good God. We need a Patreon episode of just intern Mark and Craig.
Breathing heavy.
Yeah.
We really should do that, dude.
Be about Jordan Grace.
I would die so happy.
And what I'm going to say is the toughest matchup of our first round.
Oh, yeah.
The Jericho Appreciation Society, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, and the Wizard. No, not Chris Jericho, the Wizard of Oz, Vinny Vegas, whatever you want to call him.
Kevin Nash.
Versus Adam Cole, Robert W. Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a tough one. I'm gonna vote for the Jericho team because I put them together and I like them.
Oh,
Ernest,
I'm gonna go fucking Undisputed Era, man.
You put them in the bracket. You should go Undisputed Era.
I did. Yeah, I did. I remember that now. Thank you.
You got right. To be fair,
Jim.
Give me Cole Fish and Cool Cow.
All right, Craig. You're the tiebreaker.
Oh, you fucking
Jericho Appreciation Society. For pick, first team is Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, and Chris Jericho.
The Backstreet Boys?
Yes.
Okay.
You just made the list.
Is Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish.
See, if it was Kylo Ren, it would be an easy one. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go with the Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Tell me why.
I mean, just watching the way Sammy, fell off the cage. I just watched that last night.
Yeah, so badass, dude.
And no, I mean, Eddie, was the throw, but the way he just turned his body and just ate that whole fucking table.
Just kind of. And finally, the 215 matchup, probably one of my favorite trios in this entire tournament. The 15 seed is Wardlow, the new TNT champion, and his teammates Hookhausen of Hook and Danhausen, taking on the former AEW World Champion Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds, team Cowboy Order.
Oh, fucking give me Wardlow and Hookhausen. I love that team. Warhausen.
That would have been if Warhorse was their partner.
Wardhausen.
Wardhausen.
Give me a team with the new TNT champion and Hookhausen.
You're going Hookhausen? Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Jim?
Yeah, give me Wardhausen.
Yes.
They'll move on. My vote is for the Adam Page, John Silver, Alex Reynolds trios. Simply from the standpoint of those two guys work really well together with their promos. So I feel like I'd have a lot of interest if this was actually a trio going into the tournament. So on next week's show, we'll do round 2. The matchups for that, the Motor City Machine Guns and Mike Bailey will take on FTR and Jonathan Gresham. The 5-13 matchup, Punk, Darby, and Sting take on the VCC.
That's pretty good.
The 3-11, which is Kingston Pride and Powerful against the Briscoes and Josh Alexander. And the 7-15, which is the Jericho Appreciation Society, taking on Wardlow and Hookhausen. That's the bracket. We're battling it out to see who's going to make it to the Final Four for the Super Pod between us and 3CT, where the shows will come together to put a bow and declare who we would have as the first AEW Trios champions.
All right. Final topic. Joe, it's you.
All right. I
You
feel
guys
like
see that Austin Theory match?
I can't. Yeah.
Came hard.
Tonight on my topic, we analyze all of Austin Theory's abs. My personal favorite is left number 2. No. So
I'm done.
I thought that I would talk about Angelo Dawkins tonight because obviously the Street Profits getting a lot of attention for that match at Money in the Bank. There's a lot of talk right now. They even said it in commentary on that match, like, oh, they're not getting along. We're kind of getting the sense that maybe they're going to break them up. And I think we've all kind of figured, hey, Montez Ford going to be a huge star one day, has the looks, has the talent, has the in-ring ability. We're ready for him to be a huge star. But what happens to Angelo Dawkins? Right now, I feel like there's room for debate on that. I think there's some people that thinks that he goes the way of the dodo and just kind of disappears. I think there's some people, I know X-Pac, Sean Waltman, 123 Kids, 6, whatever you want to call him today. He put out a tweet that said, hey, but don't sleep on Angelo Dawkins. He can be a star also. And maybe he could be. I kind of want to see what your guys' opinion is. Like, what do you think if the Street Profits were to break up at some point in calendar year 2022, so sometime in the next 6 months, or I guess 5 months now, if they were to break up, what do you see being the trajectory for Angelo Dawkins' career from here?
I mean, his ceiling probably would be like possibly being a U.S. title, IC title, like picture maybe. I think he's not Tucker, like from like, the Heavy Machinery. He has personality. He's good in the ring, obviously, so you can work with that. So I think he'll be a utility player. He'll be a utility player in WWE, of course. So I think he'll be a solid guy on the roster. He won't be. Obviously, Montez to me is the guy that has a larger ceiling, but I think Angelo Dawkins definitely has a place there as a solo guy. It's something to work with, definitely.
Okay, Jim.
Because I think the thing is that if they split the team, Montez is like immediately in U.S. title, looking towards like world title. Like he is a single star.
Yeah.
So I think what happens if they split with Jesus, why the fuck? We're literally talking about the guy and his name slips my mind.
Angelo Dawkins.
That's the one.
That's another theory.
It's late. But I think we see this kind of lost. He's lost. He doesn't know what to do. Like, why did my partner, because I assume Montez would turn heel.
That's what it feels like.
Like, I feel like I don't think we're getting a Dawkins.
I think I would actually turn Dawkins heel.
No.
Really?
More of a chance of actually.
I don't know.
I think Dawkins succeeds more as a heel because Montez is always the one doing the flips and getting cheered for all the big moves. I think it's almost transferred to make it perfect sense for Montez to be the one that gets stabbed in the back.
But what makes a great heel turn is the person that you least expect.
Sure, but the problem is I don't think Angelo Dawkins gets over enough as a face.
Right.
In the immediate breakup, that it makes sense. When Otis and Tucker did it, it made sense because you could see Tucky wanted to win more and Otis was worried about Mandy. Like, that one was blatantly obvious. That they turned the guy that they should have turned. And he fizzled out as soon as that storyline was over. Yeah. It happened with Cass and Enzo. Cass was obviously the one that should have turned heel, and then Cass got hurt. And the next thing you know, then neither one of them are on the roster anymore. But the way that they've been breaking up tag teams, it's always the guy like that makes sense. So it's like, sure, Montez makes the most sense because he's jacked as fuck. He's fucking already the best promo on that thing.
Yeah.
I think him being more the guy who gets his heart broken and stabbed in the chest. And it also then leads to the fact that you could have Bianca and him Bianca be there to pick up the pieces.
And you could have a woman team with Dawkins and actually all of a sudden,
like, well, I mean that's
into that title scene against Bianca. I don't know what woman you put there, but you could. I mean, you could have. There's someone. You'll find someone for that role.
But I mean, ultimately, though, like there's, it's a longer journey to any sort of a single like stardom for Dawkins, because there has to be a build, there has to be a story, there has to be some sort of substance to Dawkins, the single star. Montez is already a single star, and he's still in the tag team.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys.
Yeah, like but the sad thing is, like, I could see him being successful and I think his ceiling is probably like a mid-card champion. But the sad thing is, like, I could very easily see him go the way of Tucky as well. Where
the thing is, he has more personality than Tucky, though.
Tag team,
that would be a booking.
There's nothing for him, and he's gone.
But here's the thing. I think Mike stumbled onto this, and I hadn't thought about that. I agree with you. If you turn Dawkins heel, you solve a lot of the potential issues there, because now it's always easier to play a heel. It just is. You can be more of a character. You can amp yourself up to 11. You can be a prick. It's not that hard. Ask Christian Cage. You know, you can go out there, heel, by the way, say a whole lot of shit. He could say shit about Bianca. He could say shit about how he carried the team, like all this stuff. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Dawkins will only succeed depending on how strong his character is
as soon
moving
as the breakup is done.
Because my fear with Angelo Dawkins would be that he'd be the guy like Marty Jannetty, like a lot of people when they break up teams, where it's not just that one guy becomes more popular over the other. One guy ends up being stuck with the tag team's old gimmick. That happens 9 times out of 10, where they're still using the same theme song and they're still wearing the same clothes.
Didn't Edge do that for a while after Christian turned on him? Didn't he still come out to the same fucking music for like 6 months?
Yes, Christian's the one that got a new theme song.
Until he got hurt and then came back to Rob Zombie?
Yes. Okay. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, a lot of guys, like, there's always one person in that team who basically carries on the tag team gimmick.
Enzo had the theme song from them.
Which, granted, like, Roman Reigns got to carry on the Shield for like 5 years.
But what I'll say about that is that they all went their own separate ways.
Yes.
After they reunited.
True. Also,
it wasn't like they broke up again because Seth turned on them.
Right. Also true. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like that could be a thing.
I think that the proper kickstand to get Angelo Dawkins over as a singles competitor is to turn him heel, because it's the safest route to go until you can figure out what his maximum capacity for promos and in-ring work is on a level of a more severe basis. Because at the end of the day, if he's going to give you 2-star matches, you're not going to put him in a 5-star program.
Right.
And what's the best way to figure that out? have him go work against Montez to start,
Right.
Because they have chemistry together, both as a team, and they probably have worked singles matches at the Performance Center when they were coming up as the Street Profits against each other. So if he's going to get his best matches are going to be Montez no matter what. I think Tez makes the most sense to be the face because there are different routes that you can go with Tez from here. He's a perfect guy to now go feud with Austin Theory if Theory retains the United States title. Or I'm sorry, regains the United States title.
Montez Ford's a guy who we could be talking about winning the Money in the Bank next year.
Sure.
Especially if
depending on how the next
put it on.
Depending on how the next 6 months go, I would absolutely agree with that.
Because like they've obviously shown with Austin Theory and all that like they're willing to put it on someone that is.
They should have put it on Madcap Moss just to see everybody's head fucking.
Dude, I would not have been mad at that. I think Moss is like underrated.
He's pretty over now too. Also, crowd loves him.
I think if you were putting it on someone completely random,
I would have put it on Moss.
That was the guy that I would.
I agree.
I agree with you on that. And the thing is, with Madcap Moss right now, his biggest problem is there's nobody for him to feud with on SmackDown.
No, and he can't.
There's not a single person.
He just can't keep feuding with fucking Corbin.
No, and there's like, what are you gonna put him against? Sheamus? That's basically the same feud.
No, you know who I would actually have him go feud against for the next couple weeks? To be honest with you, Gunther.
I'm just gonna say that.
Give him a nice title shot.
I mean,
I see title. Make it make sense. Yeah.
Gunther has nothing going on. He just destroyed Ricochet.
The problem with that SmackDown roster is that there's just not enough stars.
But you have a guy who's coming off of a feud victory.
Oh yeah,
that was just in Money in the Bank. You have fucking Kaiser Roll come out and be like, "It's a real shame that Gunther wasn't in the fucking match, but this fucking schmuck was."
Yeah,
and you now have a built-in go, and it's literally, I think, something that would make perfect sense.
Yes,
I would love to see a Gunther Madcap Moss title match. I think it would be fun.
So, okay, just to sum this topic up, though, real quick. On a scale of 1 to Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff, how good do we think the Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins feud would actually be?
So is
a feud between the two of them? I think it would be really good.
Okay.
I'd be solid.
Are we? How many? Like, is that 1 through 100, or is that like 1 through 10?
It's like
10?
1 through 11.
I'm gonna rate it. Hold on. 8.2 red Solo cups.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah, I think it'd be a 7 or 8. I think that like the chemistry those two have would lead to a great feud. I worry about Dawkins post breakup.
Right. I go 7 also. Bottom 7.
See, and that's the thing, and I think the safer route
he was a bottom
to make sure that Dawkins made sense would be to turn him heel because it's easier to play a heel than a face.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. All right. It's time for the reveal of the June Wrestlers of the Month. We don't know exactly who won. This is all a surprise for us. Mike does because he did the tabulation. So, Mikey, take it away.
All right. Your June Wrestlers of we're going to go in reverse order. 24th, we had a tie between Bianca Belair and Adam Cole, baby. 23rd was Miro. 22nd was the Impact Wrestling X Division Champion Speedball Mike Bailey. 21st, Roman Reigns. 20th, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The guy lost a match and cut a promo, and he's 20th in the Wrestler of the Month.
You fucking mark!
You. 19th, a guy who I don't think wrestled a match the entire month, Christian.
Yeah, but he was harsh to everybody.
Dude, he fucking destroyed Matt Hardy on fucking yesterday.
Don't worry, I have some questions for you guys that we'll talk about whenever I'm done going over these. 17th, there was a tie between Seth Franklin Rollins and the new NWA Women's World Champion Trevor Murdoch. 15th, there was a tie between the now new TNT champion Wardlow and the House of Black. 14th, Impact Wrestling World Champion Josh Alexander. 13th, making his AEW debut was Claudio Castagnoli. 12th, the man who regained the North American title at a NXT show, Carmelo Hayes, Anthony. 11th, the new Mid-Atlantic Mid-South Championship Wrestling champion, Pac. 10, the new Intercontinental champion. Thank God he killed Ricochet. He's still a dick. Gunther.
tpublic.com/user/3count Thursday.
Ninth, the new AEW Tag Champions, the Young Bucks. Eighth is the new Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace. Seventh, the woman who I think holds every other North American women's title right now that means anything, Taya Valkyrie. Sixth place is CM Punk.
Bill.
Fifth place, Will Ocean Spray. Fourth, John Moxley.
Gian.
3, the Urban American Dream, Cody Rhodes. Number 2, the new IWGP World Champion, Switchblade Jay White. And the June Wrestlers of the Month, I said wrestlers, is 7-star FTR.
Hell yeah.
So
well deserved.
So I have everybody's voting here, and I want to ask some questions because there are some picks here that were I kind of scratched my head at.
He's staring at me as he said that.
You and Joe both had Christian. You had him at 13 and 14. But my first question is, Joe, how the hell did you put Hiroshi Tanahashi in your top 15? The guy's only match that I remember that he was actually won was a match that we already knew he was going to win to be part of the interim title match anyways.
He has amazing hair.
But we literally had guys like Trevor Murdoch, Hiromu Tanahashi won the Best of the Super Juniors this month. Mike Bailey won the X Division title. The Creed brothers, which nobody except for me put in the top 25, actually won the fucking NXT tag titles this month. I'm sorry. I get like NXT is kind of hot garbage, but the fact that they didn't get voted in, but Adam Cole and Britt Baker did for winning tournaments that don't mean dog shit and had really bad matches on the pay-per-view to be the cappers of those tournaments. And they made, pretty sure all 3 of your guys' top 25. Neither one of them made mine.
I thought we were supposed to rank everybody.
You don't have to. You just do top 25, and then I
I didn't know that.
I just go through and decipher from there. See,
I feel like I did so much extra work.
I love this podcast.
Joe really is the intern mark of this show. It every single week.
Hey, Jim. Jim. Shame it, man. Just do it. Shane. McMahon.
The best in the world. Shane McMahon.
So I legitimately thought I was going to get raked over the coals because I had CM Punk at number 9 this month.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe sent me his, and he had him at 18.
I mean,
He's injured.
I legitimately was going to put him lower, and my exact response was going to be, he won a match, he won the title at the beginning of the month, and then he lost to a guardrail. That was exactly going to be the reason why I had him lower in my rankings, but I chose to take the moral high road and still put him in the top 10 because he did end the reign of Adam Page.
I had him fairly high. I think top 5 at least.
You had him at 4. Jim had him at 3.
Oh, you're higher than me.
So like that. Obviously, my question to Joe. Obviously, Tanahashi was not a guy that I thought made a lot of sense to be in the top 15. Again, I felt like the Creed brothers and the Commonwealth Connection both didn't get any kind of love, especially because Joe put Miro in the top 15.
He did something, didn't he?
He showed up.
He won a match with Double Nothing also too. Yeah.
Who did he wrestle at?
Look.
No. He didn't have a match for nothing. He won a qualifying match to be in the All Atlantic fucking tournament.
Right. That's right.
If we're being honest, after the top 5, I just threw all the names kind of together. Like, come on.
Then why did you just say that you did so much extra work to just type out the other?
Because I would
the
have
other
stopped
7
at
names.
25. I didn't know I had to.
You're making it out though at the beginning. You're like, man, I did all this extra work. Like you actually put in more thought above like
well,
the top.
I had to write them down. I could have wrote down 7 less.
And you could have done it in an Uber because you don't even drive.
I did it, frankly.
Mike got you there, man. Last part.
But I did. That's where I did it.
I know, but my point is it doesn't hurt you to type out 7 names whenever you're sitting there wasting time in an Uber, anyways.
But I could have wasted time on other things. I could have been on Grindr.
Buddy, you already had a booty call lined up that day. Don't lie to me.
You need to line up the next one.
Buddy, whatever. I'm never going to ask you for rankings because I'm just going to get like 3 names and then it's going to be everybody else. Mike, you pick where they go from there. You're just going to give me your top 3 from now on.
You do the puzzle, Michael.
You do it. I should literally make you sit here and just press random.org and randomly generate at least those be more accurate. After the top 5, I don't really give a fuck anymore.
No, like that's like FTR belonged at number 1. I do
For
that.
being honest, I'm surprised it's not how he does it.
Honestly, if he came out and told me that that's how he did it, I'd at least be like, at least I have respect for the fact that you're going to half-ass everything.
I try to rank. What I try to do,
and this guy's just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck after number 5.
I have a hard time with it too. But what I try to do recently, I try to rank them every week. Just kind of have a general idea where they're at.
No, actually, I believe that Ernest does that because he's actually showed it to me. See, Ernest isn't bullshitting. You're the one that should be doing it that way because then it's less work for you to do at the end of the month. Because
Right.
you go back and listen to every show, so everything is fresh in your mind. You could literally do it while you're listening to the show. But instead, you just rank 5 at the end of the month and you go, fuck it, the other 20 don't matter.
The first 10 are fairly easy to do. Once you get to that fucking 13, 14, and you forget people, and then if you don't watch enough other stuff outside of AEW, WWE, it gets kind of complicated sometimes.
All right,
Let's start nominating people for this week that I won't remember.
All right, cool. Who's first this time?
Wow, I couldn't even go over the fucking Wrestler of the Year fucking points because you guys are both rushing.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
You're not the only one that's going to be up at fucking 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to go to work tomorrow. Adam Page is first, Cody Rhodes is second, Sammy Guevara is third, Carmelo Hayes is fourth, Brock Lesnar's 5. Jim, you have the first pick. Go ahead.
Give me Lil Liv.
All right.
Numbnuts, it's on you.
Give me the new TNT champ, Wardlow.
This is obvious, right?
Yeah, you're taking Theory.
Yeah.
That's it for you.
I'm there, right? Can I just take 2 of his abs and take 2 more for my
Take
next?
3, 4. Who gives a shit? Take 4. Okay.
I'm going to take the team that won the best match of that show, and it's not even fucking close, and the match of the night, the Usos. Jimothy?
Give me the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade.
Ooh.
Don't worry. Joe said, ooh, he won't remember who the fuck they are in about 30 seconds.
That's not...
They'll be 29th on next month's fucking...
They could be 15th. We don't know.
Buddy, I'm not taking any list that you give me from now on. Seriously. Ernest, you're up for your second pick.
Give me the new U.S. champion, Bobby Lashley. Bobby!
Which 2 abs do you want for this pick?
I will actually take in this scenario.
I feel like we should just make his picks every week Austin Theory, so that whenever he votes for Theory, it's less work I have to do to figure out who the other people are that we're not voting for.
Good
Kind of
point.
a good idea.
Give me Bianca. She retains her title.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And finally,
My last pick, I will take the still NXT champion Braun Beaker.
beep, 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 beep.
Jim, you get the last pick.
I will go with the still NXT Tag Team Champions, the Creed Brothers.
With arms wide open.
I really can't. I want to watch from last night, 2 nights ago, but it's hard to care about NXT right now. Am I alone in that?
No, you're not. It's more so.
I'm actually entertained by NXT.
It's hard for me to get invested in it because I'm already watching Monday night.
Right.
watching Wednesday night while I'm prepping 3 count. Like Tuesday, I mean, especially coming up into football season, I podcast. So like, I just don't watch wrestling on Tuesdays. But man, a lot. I see a lot of people week in, week out tweeting about how much they just enjoy the NXT product and how it is just so much fun to watch.
I'll be honest with you. The only reason I
dash and like
right.
give it a proper try again because I haven't cared about NXT in a minute.
It's not that I don't want to care about it. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for Mike and then honestly Jim, the mindless wrestling guys who keep talking about it on the podcast, because they do watch religiously, I at least know a little what's going on. But it's more of the same situation with you. Like Tuesday podcast as well too, and I'm doing with you as well on Tuesday nights. We hold up when we come back to football. So.
I stayed awake through this whole show.
Yeah, I know. I'm very proud of you.
That's impressive.
The first hour of it was talking about Austin Theory, and your heart on probably
was just saying I stayed awake the whole.
Yeah, I mean, you'll love the title of this podcast too, Mr. Joe. So you'll love the title of this podcast when it goes up.
A rib job too.
It's definitely theory related, that's for sure.
Jim, you want to plug anything before we kick rocks?
What's that?
Would you like to plug any of your other sources of income or shows?
Yeah, the new 3 count only Yams account will be up and running real no, seriously, we had former WWE superstar Ricardo Rodriguez and Chris Dreisbach. They are helping to promote a upcoming independent show at Clipper Magazine Stadium in Lancaster, PA. Minor league baseball team, the Lancaster Barnstormers, play there. It's kind of a relaunch of independent wrestling in Lancaster, which has kind of been a dormant scene for the last few years. So super excited about that. It was an awesome job.
Ever since Hackenbush fucked up. Let's just
having those guys on. So check that out. That was on the live show. We have a pretty exciting and fun new game that's dropping on the Tuesday pod next week. It's 3 count Thursday. You can find that all podcast catchers and YouTube. New Huddle Up content will be coming. We're going to be recording next week. So there'll be a sports movies draft.
Wait, you have a new game? Something that EJ will rob and put on our show?
No, because I don't think he'll put the work forth to actually steal this one. And
we'll see.
He won't put the work in, just like Joe won't put the work in on a list.
That's true. New Huddle Up podcast content coming.
That's why I think for the WWE 40, Joe might have to sit that one out because I don't think he's gonna have a good.
I'll put a list together.
Mike, don't worry about it. That list is never happening anyhow. And then discussion with a nobody. We had a new discussion drop this week. And probably gonna record a few more for the coming weeks there.
I enjoyed this last one, by the way, the discussion.
Thank you.
Pretty good. Mike, anyone plug? You got stuff going on too.
Sunny Days and Double Plays. If you want to hear me talk about local baseball in the South Florida region, got some fun stuff going on. Had a good interview today. Going to post that hopefully tonight, but I still have to record 2 segments, so probably won't go up until tomorrow because of the fact that it's 12:30 and I have to be to work at 9 a.m. Yay me. Other than that,
both.
Check out twitch.tv. I'll be doing commentary. Ernest will be floating around if this gets posted before we go to work, which I don't know if it will or not because Ernest is in charge of that, and I don't hold my breath because I don't feel like dying tonight. Other than that, you can follow me on Twitter at @CallMeBird. You can follow me on Instagram at FatKidCertifiedSC. Appreciate the show like always, guys. A lot of fun. Dribble Cabrera. Other than that, hopefully the Rockies get this last out so I can make $40. Go.
All right, Joe. Anything you want to plug? OnlyFans, Alonso Diaz.
Austin Theory's butt.
I'm not even gonna plug myself.
Of course, Ernst Podcast, EJ7 on Twitter. Guys, love you guys. Great show tonight as always. See you next Thursday. Same bad time, same bad fucking channel.
Scissor me, daddy ass.
Later, guys.
I know what that means.